Yo, what's good, everyone? So, I'm going to be doing something that I have yet to see another trader do. I'm going to be going over every single profitable trade that I took on my FTMO challenge. So hopefully this helps you guys out with passing your very own challenge yourself. Now, with all that being said, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I seriously don't know another YouTuber that has done this yet. So I really hope this provides value to you on your trading journey and helps instill some confidence in you so you can really see how easy it is to pass one of these prop firm challenges. Let's go over these trades. So I'm really going to be going above and beyond and posting little screenshots of the closed trades that I took for all of these positions so you can actually see the entries where I said the entry was and that I exited where I said I exited at. And then obviously see that the position size is, what it is. The reason for that being is I feel like a lot of people online just don't believe that, Forex is real and they believe Forex is a scam because to the average person, it sounds crazy that you can press a button on your phone and then in a couple minutes, a couple hours, you can make a couple $1,000s, 5 figures, or even someone's annual salary. And us as traders, we don't really think anything of that because we understand the market that we're in and we understand what's capable within this market. So I'm just going to make sure to have all those things posted so you can see the legitness for all of this.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was.
And let's get to it. So here's the first trade that I took. This is also the first video that I ever made on my YouTube channel. So the stop loss itself, I can't really show exactly where it was at because I moved it to break even. So on my FTMO account, it actually shows the break even stop loss. But I remember I was risking about $500 on this trade itself. And I hopped in with a single position at first at 1.5 lots. And then I got into another position and scaled in. So I just want to break down why I even considered buys on gold. So first thing that we can see here is we created a newer high at this area. After these new highs were created, price came back down and retested structure. After this retest of structure, I waited for enough confirmation of price itself to show a continuation to the upside. And you see this was actually replicated 3 times and I hopped in on the third replication. So first we have this sideways movement, push up, this sideways movement with wicks to the downside, a push up, and then another sideways movement, push up. So after I saw this pattern get replicated a couple times, I was then able to hop in to this trade here. You can call it a break and then retest of structure here. It depends on what time frame you're really looking at. But let's kind of just see how this played out. So I got in at 241. Here's actually the candle that I got in. We see the moving averages are starting to show the possibility of a cross, and we have this beautiful rejection to the downside, definitely telling me that price still wants to go up. So we can play it out real quickly, and we see price rejected the moving average here and then pushed up with a beautiful bullish candle engulfing all the previous structure, and then came back to retest the moving average, pull back a little bit, maybe psych out some people, making people think that it's actually not going to be going down, and then continued with a super fat bullish candle over here and then hit my target. So that was a clean, simple trade to start off this trading account with. Let's check the other one. So then we have this GJ buy, and actually on this night I took multiple positions that were in different biases. Like I said, at this point I was really just trying to create a buffer on the account, wasn't really looking to hold any trade for all too long. So I hopped in at 3:03 a.m. and then I hopped in at 5:82. So let's place buy here at 5:82. I went for around 9 pips to 677, so 9.5 pips here. And this was on a 5 lot, so it was nearly almost $500. Boom, got done. I ended up moving my stop loss into profits, and then got cleared out. So that happened there. Simple confirmation for this trade, we had this rejection of 4-hour structure. Constantly price wasn't able to break past this 4-hour structure here. So seeing that it actually held, seeing that price was moving above the moving averages, seeing that on London Open we had this beautiful bullish candle, it was a simple quick 10 pips to catch. But also nothing that I recommend that your strategy should be based upon. Like I've said multiple times, I was just trying to build a buffer and was perfectly fine catching these quick moves. Knowing your actual skill level in the market is super important to understand what type of trades you can be taking and what you can actually get away with. So then my next trade position was about 50 minutes after. It was at 352. We can see here actually on the 5-minute chart that we cleared all this previous structure and we were coming out to test the 4-hour. So if we go over here to the 1 minute and see what's going on, our candle at 50 tested said structure, and then now we see price is going to be going to the downside. So have that big push to the downside now after the structure was tested as resistant, it held itself. We had a 5-lot sell entry at 211. So here we are at 211 with a close at 802. So see price soon after breaks through, caught a solid profit of $500 there. Account and buffer slowly building up but surely. Then I caught another buy position later on in this session here. This was actually at 441. So let's go over to 441. So at 441, took a buy position. You see price had melted so far from my initial entry. Honestly, I was kind of sad that I missed out. So price had moved over 100 pips past this initial section right here. And you can even see a break and retest of this structure. Like I mentioned in my simplest Forex strategy video, the break and retest strategy is so powerful if implemented correctly. But back to this trade. So saw this wick being created to the downside here. Also, after a bunch of movement like this, you're gonna need some type of retracement after. Price can't just continue plummeting down. That's not really how the market works. There's definitely pullbacks that happen throughout the market. So I was just catching a mini pullback to catch a really quick 10 pips. That's what I did. So there was these 2 wicks that were created here, definitely showing exhaustion to the downside. You see it happen over here. Typically when there's wicks without movement, like continuation down with another bear candle, another bull candle, depending on the trend that is going, you're gonna see price have those mini retracements on the lower time frames, which are good entries to get in for to continue down on the trend. So a quick 10 pips was caught on this. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. Was just catching the retracement of this downtrend right here on a lower time frame. But yeah, caught around $400 with this trade here. So I was sitting at around 2% in profit on the account. I had a couple $100 losses, so I was a little under 2%, but nothing too crazy. And knocked out nearly a 1% trade on USDJPY. The breakdown for this trade is actually in my fastest $2,000 ever video. Go over that one and GJ trade, and we're gonna go over both of them currently again so that it's all consolidated into one little video and very helpful for those of you that are having trouble passing your FTMO challenges. So this trade was super simple to catch. It was rejecting off of 1-hour support and resistance. So we see this area was actually held as support here, then it broke through, came back, retested, and then I was just waiting for this piece of structure right here that was also upheld with these wicks to see if I can catch a sell to the downside. So price wicked me in. Luckily, it was still held as a doji candle underneath this piece of structure right here. And then we can actually see it play out real quickly. So this was a funky trade. It was definitely going in and out of profit for quite some time. I know psychologically some people can't handle that just because they haven't been trading that long. But when you see something like this occur where price comes back, hits your structure, and then shows a nice bearish engulfing candle right after it, definitely know that you're more than likely going to be in the clear. Remember, trading is a game of probabilities. So as long as you're probable to be correct with the trend, you're not guessing, you're not gambling. You're stacking your confluences together to make sure that you have an edge in the market. So there's something pretty incredible that happens here. We see this rejection to the downside, rejecting this previous structure, and I definitely believe it's just because there is this structure over here maintained on the 5-minute, but we have the confluences from the moving averages on our side, and also the fact that new highs were not created just yet. And then we can see something magnificent happen, a doji candle, showing indecision in the market. When indecision is in the market, some move has to be made. It has to go up or down. And indecision typically shows a change of trend. Previously, the trend was going up. We haven't cleared this previous structure just yet. So after this indecision candle, we see this fake out. This fake out coming up to hit our moving averages, test this piece of structure here. That's over on this side, also with this little thin bars, and then we see something magnificent. Huge drop to the downside. Closes me out. I was trying to hit this piece of structure over here, and I get out of that trade alive with $900 in profit. So next we have this GJ trade. Hopped in at 404. I'll go onto the 1 minute to actually show you the actual candle that I hopped in at. But we see that this piece of structure here was rejected nicely, and then we have this wick to the upside. Buyers did try pushing price up, especially since we were getting close to this moving average here. But actually on the 1 minute, what we saw was some indecision happen. This is at 403. It's the next candle that I actually get in on. We see that there's actually still indecision in the market, and after seeing price close underneath this big moving average right here and reject this piece of structure and fail to make new highs, I'm banking on price going to the downside. So let's play this out real quick, and we see, boom, price took us out at about 22 pips in profit. So one thing to make clear, we see that price had this rejection candle to the downside here, and then this push back up. This is a common fake out technique where you'll see there's a wick to the bottom, price just starts pushing back up, and people think, okay, well now price is going in the opposite direction. No, that's not what's gonna happen. And you can obviously see here, we have these two nice bullish candles and then a bearish candle that completely engulfs them. And granted, yes, this is on the lower time frame, but it's really important to understand how price moves on the lower time frames, and then be able to piece all that information together and then use that to aid your ability to understand what higher time frames actually mean for price action. And there's multiple ways to catch a position like this. Sometimes you'll see the move and you'll completely miss and not have an ability to get in it, and then you might be caught, thinking, hey, I have to chase the trade now. And I'm telling you right now, that is definitely the false, you do not want to do that. It's not going to be good. So we see this area right here where price is now struggling to get through. We can play the next candle, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, now price is testing this structure, it's going to break through. Well, that's really not probably what's going to happen. You see, there's no liquidity left on this side. All the wicks on this side have been filled from price going down. So price needs to come back up and then continue its way down. Liquidity's gone in this zone. So let's check what happens. Boom, big spike back up, touches the moving average. Now is your chance to possibly think about, can I get into price? But I would say you probably want to wait for the next candlestick after something like this if you're trying to take it to the downside and continue that trend. Reason for that being is, you see this rejection here to the downside, and it's now going underneath the moving average. That's a scary sight for any trader that's trying to continue the trend down. There might be a trend switch that's happening on a higher time frame, or maybe it's rejecting some moving average on a higher time frame. All things that you need to consider. So let's play out what happens next. You see all these wicks to the downside. People are trying to take price down, but price just does not want to close to the downside. And then we have this final spike down. This is a perfect entry opportunity to get in. And I know this video is about showing my actual trades I took for this. I just want to show this off real quick so you can see how simple price action can be. So we play this through, boom, hits. And that was for 28 pips. On the 1 minute, you probably could find a place where you could put your stop loss here. So you could put it right here. And that would make this trade a 1 to 5. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about, but still a successful trade and still something that was able to be executed relatively easily. Now we're going to be going over some of our heavier hitting trades. This is after the account has now built up quite a bit of a buffer for itself, and I can put on a bit more risk. Like that previous position I showed you, it was only 4 lots. This next one is actually 10 lots, so we definitely upped our risk and we're ready to now actually make some bigger progress on the account. So this trade was actually taken exactly at 3 a.m. London session open time for my time zone. And we see price is having this beautiful downtrend that has been created. We weren't able to clear this trend line here that was drawn on a 4-hour. So price is making its way down, taking its steps, and we can actually look over here on the 1 minute. So we see exactly when I got into this entry at. Moving averages are getting nice and close together. I like to see this because then typically if price is not clear past that moving average, a separation of the moving averages occur, and then a lot of momentum will then follow price in the trend that it's actually going. So we're here 2 minutes till I get in, and then boom, all this drop happens. I get it in at 159.634. A lot of momentum is following this trade here. Beautiful break of structure. We can check out this next minute here. Rejection to the downside. At the opening of any session, you have to be wary for the consolidation that's going to be happening on the lower time frames. And then you'll even see like the 15-minute or the 30-minute candle kind of looks like a doji candle, and you don't really know where it's going to go. And then by the end of that close for that candle, it figures out which direction it's going to go. Just something to watch out for when you're trading openings of sessions. And then boom, our take profit gets hit. Beautiful trade right there. It was very quick. It was $2,000 made in 2 minutes. And then we can see actually what happens after. Retested that structure, and then the breakthrough of it. Personally, you could have seen this red candle here taking a sell and then maybe caught 10 pips. It would have been super risky, especially after seeing movement like this and then a huge push back up. I probably would have wanted to stay away from it. But after you see price clear the structure right here, and especially close with the doji candle over the moving averages, this was a simple 15 plus pips to catch. So here's this next GJ trade. Make another $2,000 on it. This was the next day after. We see all this rejection to the downside here. Price is breaking past this piece of structure. Also for the 30-minute of this candle, we were showing rejection to the downside. So on the lower time frame, we were definitely on a position to definitely catch a move to the upside. We'll see this play out real quick. And yeah, ended up closing at about 25 pips in profit. So yeah, price hit our zone. We cleared out. We were up another 2%. And you know, doing 4% in 2 days, especially when it's done in just a couple minutes, super happy with the result that was produced from these two trades. Next, we have this trade right here. I took it at 2:31 exact. We'll go to the exact candle that I hopped in at. So actually, let's go back to that 30-minute. On the 30-minute, we see this break of the 4-hour structure, consolidation past the zone, and then movement up. So that movement up is definitely signifying that buyers are still on hold of the market. Like we hit this 4-hour zone. We're consolidating around that zone, and then we break past up it. Price is going to continue to the upside. Also, another thing to consider is we have a bunch of wicks pointing to the downside right here, showing rejection of sellers, which we then tie in confluence with understanding that buyers are in control right now. So we can go to this 5-minute time frame here. After this candle, let's go to the 1 minute to see. It's 2:29, so 2 candles I hop in. 1, 2, 3, 1, or 3, 1. So get into this trade right here. On the 5-minute, we had the structure that was broken with a full body. This full body candle right here. You see those wicks created to the upside. Those wicks are signifying weakness, but when you see a full body close on there, I'm definitely still thinking that price is going to continue to the upside. And sure, you can see that red candle and be, oh, so scared about it. But understand, this market doesn't want you to win. The people that are producing these fat candlesticks and are the market makers, they want you to lose. They want to attack your mind. This is something that you need to consider when you're trading, because if you're scared to execute, you will never succeed. And you're going to be psyched out, toyed with, and then pretty much have your money taken from you. But anyways, let's play this out real quick and see how it goes through. I ended up getting out at 926, which was actually all the way down here. So this was only 25 pips versus the, 62 that I could have caught, and which would have put my account, and almost nearly done by this point. But that's the way I was trading this account. It wasn't to hold trades for super long or anything like that. It doesn't matter if my bias was correct, because like I said, I was just trying to build a buffer. The way that I trade a challenge is not even close to the same way that I trade an actual account where I'm getting actual money on. And the simple reason for that being is I can make as much as I want on a trading account. With a challenge, I have a specific set target goal. I want to target 10%. With a regular account, I don't have in mind like, oh yeah, I need to make sure I only get 10% this month. This is the way I'm going to be trading. No. I'm definitely willing to hold those trades for longer to make sure that I can get those bigger R2Rs and actually let a trade play out and not move my stop loss to break even so quickly. So the two accounts are traded completely differently. So this was simply just another break and retest pattern on a lower time frame, just continuing and following the trend. Nothing super crazy, nothing super complex about it. And you see here within, 5-10 minutes, the trade ended up hitting my zone and I got out and I was happy with the profits that were made. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I actually closed out that position and opened up 2 bigger positions. So after making sure that I had a nice buffer in my account, in this next position combined, I placed 20 lots, which means $200 a pip. So these trades were taken exactly at the open and then 1 minute after the open. So first trade was at 6-1 right here at the top of this candlestick, and then the next trade was at 983, and then exits were at 139. So we go to 139, 139. One thing to consider, yes, I did get out of this position here, but then seeing price break past, consolidate in this zone, I'm still thinking price is bullish. I have no doubt that price is going to continue to the upside. Just wanted to secure my buffer and close my position before any major retracement happened. Granted, the first position was before London session. If you ever trade the opening of a session, a lot of unpredictable things do occur during the opening. But price eventually hits this zone. We see this doji candle right here. Boom, we are out. We do not want price to reverse on us. We can play through to see really quickly what happened after. It does make some more continuations to the upside and stuff, but besides that, I was up 1.5% from this trade, up another percent from that trade. That's 2.5%. The account is looking really good by this point. Next, we actually have a GJ buy. I'm gonna place a screenshot of this sell that happened real quick. It was a quick 500 bucks. Not my best trade. Wasn't too crazy about it. It was just a break and retest pattern. You've seen it already multiple times on this video here. But let's go to the actual trade where I made 2.6%. Then plus that extra 500, it was 3% up from these two trades. So we get in here, the actual time that I got in was at 3:01. So we can go to the 1 minute chart just because I want to show you these actual entry candles so you have an idea. 3:01. There's this candle right here. All this indecision occurring, and then 1 minute into the opening, price tried to push back down. We had this wick that was created, and price is showing that it's on its way to the upside here. So we can go to the 5 minute and see what's actually going on. We have this beautiful break of structure. Yes, this trade was taken quite a bit late from that break of structure. The reason being is because London Open was soon to happen, and I just wanted to be on the safer side of things. Like I said, this is the challenge. Definitely just want to play things safe and make sure that you hit that 10% profit goal without doing anything too outrageous. We can see price play through right here. I was hoping to see price break through the structure, and luckily we do see that. I got out at 132.819, so we'll do that real quick. 819. So yeah, price already got out there. Super happy with that. By this point, I was up 9.8% on the account. I just took a quick little US 30 scalp the next morning at New York session to get $170 in profit, just because that's all I needed to have the account passed. And yeah, that was it. I know this video was really long. For those of you that have watched this all the way, I really hope that you guys passed your FTMO challenge, and I really hope that this video added some value for you. And until next time, I'm out.